Good morning, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning here. It's already getting quite hot. Yesterday it was around 40 centigrade, baking hot, and today it's probably going to be the same, but after that the temperature should be lowering and probably getting some rain in on Sunday. The storm that was forecast for last Wednesday hasn't happened. There's been no rain at all, so we'll see how that pans out soon. As you can see, the hole's changed slightly. We've now got a bank on everything, so I'm just going to get you up to date with how that happened. We had a digger come in and he saw the laser line that I'd marked the night before by setting the laser tripod at about 40 centimeters. So it was actually beaming out a line that I traced during the night to the mark that I placed over there. He then came and basically started digging from top, so he was going over the top and digging upwards, pulling it from the 40 centimeter mark towards him, and then he was crushing it down with the back of the gude, the scoop, on the digger. Pretty much immediately after that we took sheets of Geotex which had been soaking in a barrel of wet muddy clay, and we began draping it over. So pretty much within 5 minutes of him actually exposing the clay, we were putting the Geotex over. He did this area first, and then he came with some gravel. Fortunately, I've got some gravel over there which we were using for the drive, but it's come into more use for the moment. He basically sealed the bottom with gravel and then also ultimately sealed the top with gravel, so the gravel is holding down the Geotex. He did that area there, and then it was really a coordinated effort between him doing the digging, cleaning up, and then me and my partner coming and putting the wet Geotex down. Him then coming with the gravel and sealing it at the bottom, holding it in place, and at the top. So he did that area, and then this area was a little bit tricky with the digger because he couldn't go behind to scoop backwards because it was a bit narrow, and for various reasons there's not the size of digger that we had, doesn't properly have access. So he actually came in the hole and did it this way. That was a little bit more challenging for him, but he managed absolutely fine, did a great job. Again, he did a nice clean up and then sealed it at the bottom and sealed it at the top. My concern is when the rain comes, because unfortunately it's still August here, the shops aren't open yet, so I can't order the gravel. I think we're going to have to survive a rainstorm first here and see what happens when the rains come to this hole. Unfortunately, my concern is the seams on the Geotex. If the wind gets under them, it could potentially lift it, tear it, I don't know. So I'm thinking of ways to actually seal that Geotex, and at the moment I've bought a load of duct tape, so when it's dry I'm actually going to stick duct tape on there, perhaps tomorrow. Hopefully that will go some way to holding it and stopping the wind getting under it. If I were to do this again and the shops were open, I would have got a 3 meter wide roll of Geotex and done it as a continuum, so there's no seam for the wind to get under. But as it happens now, the job is to basically keep it wet. Because it's been so hot here over the last 2 or 3 weeks, yesterday it was 40 degrees, thereabouts. I'm having to wet this 3 times a day, so about 10 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and then about 6, 7, so we can go to bed damp. If I feel this Geotex now, it's bone dry, particularly on the south facing area there. Need to keep the moisture under it, so what I'm doing 3 times a day, just so you can get an idea of how wet I'm getting it, I'm basically just spraying the Geotex until it's obviously all wet, so there's not patches of dry. So you can kind of see the water shining on it with the sunshine. And I'm paying attention to the top as well, where the gravel's holding the top down. So, and also this bank here, the 40 degree bank there, I want to keep that nice and wet. A bit more there. So now there's no area of the Geotex which is dry. And then just continuing here. So if you fancy doing this, you've got a clay bank to hold up, you'll know exactly how much I'm actually spraying it. Bearing in mind at the moment the temperatures are very high. I think after the weekend, when the temperatures come down to like 23, 24, it'll probably only need doing 2 times or 3 times a day. Depends on how cloudy it is and whether the sun's beating down and it drying it all out. And there's that. So I'm just going to continue all the way around the hole, and then I'll be back at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this afternoon to redo it, and then late afternoon, and then in the evening as well. So if you're finding any value with these videos, I'd really appreciate a like, or you can click the subscribe button at the end of the video or wherever it appears. I'd really appreciate that, because that helps the channel and helps me continue doing these videos. Also gives me a bit of motivation that there's not just me doing this house. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon.